That's all right. Sit down. Commodore pulls ready.
Thank you, man, and thank you for facilitating this. My name is Bud Eaton. I live here in Newport. I have a mooring on the point. Two issues. Obviously, everybody's talked about the 30 consecutive days. I agree with Aaron. I agree with Joe Hall. And then we get the question about leaving a boat at anchor. Two issues. You're not clear in your statement. With all due respect to lawyers, I was married to an English teacher. I understand the English language. When I look at that ordinance, it says I have to park my boat on the mooring for 30 consecutive days between June 15th and September 1st. That precludes me taking a trip to meet you out at the vineyard. All right? But my point is that your language is not clear. Tim says the intent of the anchorage issue is not to keep somebody from going ashore, but that's what it says. You just read it.
That's right.
And the same thing with the 30-day consecutive days. It's not clear, so it needs to be modified before. And like Joe said, it's not ready for prime time. It's not ready for this.
That's not.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah, Michael Warren, and I've been a mooring holder for 20-some odd years. My comment on the anchoring issue is the way it's worded again. Will drive boats away from the harbor.
Yep.
Pleasures of coming to harbors and sailing throughout the area. Just be able to come in, drop an anchor, go ashore, spend money. And if this is worded so that it's unattractive, we're going to end up like Florida, where there's all kinds of disputes about not being able to anchor in certain municipalities, or when we're going south and coming back north.
The boaters won.
So I think there's a commercial aspect, a derogatory commercial aspect to the way it's worded. I understand the intent. The intent's been really good, I think, about allowing people to anchor and enjoy the city. But if we word this incorrectly, it'll get out and it'll drive people away from the harbor.
Thank you.
Yes. Andy Pipe. I got a couple of questions. First of all, on the anchoring, why did you take out the language that said the owner of or operator and party of an anchored vessel may go ashore but will not leave the city? They should be available to tend the vessel in the event of heavy weather or anchoring failure. Why did you take that out if that wasn't the intent? Or why not put something in that would allow, you know, the owner of a vessel that goes ashore must register with the harbor master and leave a cell phone number where they can
Hear, hear.
in the city. But,
Point taken.
So suggestion, we haven't ordered the point.
well, you said question, so I guess, you know, you said why, but you just told us it was for safety, but without any other explanation.
We got your.
Why did you take it out,
Next
though?
question, I got a couple of them here. What is the percentage of commercial moorings in Newport Harbor to overall moorings? Simple question. Obviously, you must know that.
Yes.
And what is question and answer? You're not going to answer. I just
No,
have
no.
to ask you.
It's a little bit over a third.
What's the number?
The number? We have 920 moorings approximately in Newport Harbor, and about 2/3 of those are private and commercial. And I'm sorry.
You don't have an actual number of residential and commercial
Yes, we do.
split, two
Yes, we
numbers.
do. We have it listed. I don't have it in my memory. So yes, we do have a list. We share that list with you. We've done that study, and we know exactly how many moorings.
We do know, so your point now? So, okay, so it's about a third is what you're saying is commercial. And then of the remaining 2/3, those are split 55-45 between residential and non. Do you keep count on the commercial, whether they're Newport or not? Whether they're Newport owners of the commercial or non-Newport owners of the commercial?
No.
Okay. And how does it compare to other harbors in Rhode Island, the percentage of commercial moorings?
It's about the same. We did a study in 2014, 2015, right, Ryan?
Yes.
And we surveyed all the surrounding, let's say, destination harbors, so, Salt Pond, was one of them in Rhode Island, Block Island, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard,
Okay, but this is getting a little out of.
no, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, we did do a study and found.
You have a recommendation, I think you're getting at, or?
No, this
Is
is
that
a
the
question, I mean,
All right.
people have raised the question.
No, that's fine, it's a fair question,
And so where is that study available?
Yes, we can make that study available to you.
Maybe you can post it online, so, I mean, it's not just me, I'm just.
No, I can,
Everybody.
yeah, we can do that.
Okay, and then the final question, this is a technical thing, but you're not talking about changing, when you talked about the length water line versus overall length, are you? Because the Heritage 12.5 is 15.5 to 16 feet long.
That's correct.
So, I just don't see, I guess first is the question, are you talking about changing the length
So,
water line?
okay,
instead of
that
overall?
came up, and let me explain that. So that came up in our discussions, where there were boats such as like 8.5. It came up as an example, but there may be other vessels that are in that length parameter that would be excluded. A keel boat, mostly these boats are classic. Or there might be a power boat that has a shorter length, but is actually, weighs 2,000 pounds, 1,500 pounds. So we wanted to be inclusive and make sure that those boats, even though they were smaller that they fit into the mooring field.
Thank you.
So, Jack. I'm sorry.
Jason.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Jason Walsh, and I'm not currently a resident, but all of my ancestors, when they left Ireland, are here. All right, so, and I've been on the waiting list for about 17 years. I support a lot of what I've heard here. I want to talk about the inverse of the accreditation. When you're proposing to allow our people who will come and use in the Newport Harbor, let's say in the extreme, one overnight out of 30. That is probably one of the worst uses of this resource. And the resource that we have should be for people who have their primary mooring or their only mooring or dock space here in Newport. And that, I think, is more important than whether one is a full-time resident or not. Because the people who are coming here and either are residents or who have their boats here primarily and are using those boats throughout the summer season are adding to the economy and using the harbor in the manner that it should be. I also, one last comment on this, no anchored vessel shall be left unattended. The way it's written now, it is a gift that will be solely for the benefit of crewed yachts. We will see large-scale yachts, and we see it in New York Harbor, where large-scale yachts are using the anchorages and setting up permanent homes, because they have crew who can do what they want, but it is not to the benefit of the average yachtsman who does not have a crew.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Go ahead. Okay,
Yeah, I've got, my name's Travis Atkins. I've got like 4 questions, but I'm just gonna say one thing in the interest of letting other people go, because it looks like we're gonna be here a while. Yeah, that second rule up there is definitely like very wonky, the way it's worded, because this gentleman over here thought he couldn't take a trip, and he almost certainly could. He could go on a cruise pretty much all summer, show up on August 2nd, and you will definitely have not failed to use the mooring for 30 consecutive days before September 1st. So I'm just saying, like, no matter what, it's extremely confusing if some people think, like, you can't take a cruise when he certainly could be gone almost all summer with it. Other people think you should ping pong, like, one day on, one day off. Maybe tighter wording on that might help in general.
all right.
Evening, Jason. I have a house here in Newport, I pay taxes, and I have a mooring. Question is that when I'm not using my mooring, from a commercial point of view and for money for
Do you have what kind of mooring do you have?
a private mooring.
The private mooring, okay, excuse me, all right.
But for a commercial reason, for the city of Newport, if I'm not using my mooring, I couldn't harbor master rent it out to other people.
Okay, that's an idea, suggestion. You have that, Chris? Okay, thank you very much.
Can I just deliver a letter, so I don't need to say anymore, I just drop a letter off as
Bring it up, Joe. Listen, I just wanna remind everybody, just take a quick break up here, I just wanna, we have to vacate this room at approximately around 7:30. So, we are gonna try to keep this going, keep this going, that's why I let you know.
So we go back, right before it races into this road.
Neil Gray.
Say your name again, please.
Neil Gray. First of all, I agree with all the comments that are coming out here tonight, especially Joe, that the fact that we are reading these ordinances in a way and then having you guys constantly say, that's not the intention, that's not the intention, tells us all that a wordsmith needs to work on these things and make it very clear. I'm not worried about Tim. I'm worried about the next harbor master that comes in and reads these, who's not the competent, fair guy that we have. These ordinances can't be written to a man, they need to be written so that whoever takes that job is very clear. So that needs to get done. Number two, very disappointed with the fact that we're meeting 2 days before the first hearing. You're taking notes. I know for a fact that the city council will look at what has been presented to them from the Waterfront Commission with the approval of the city solicitor, and they're pretty much gonna go ahead and vote that through. The second, no, you let me talk, Hank, don't, okay? The notes that you guys are taking aren't gonna do anything, and you know it, because those council people want to see the final thing. So unless Chris does what he says and pulls an item and gives it a chance to be rewritten, they're gonna move ahead. And the only thing we have is we all need to get on the phone to the councilman. This is nice, but this isn't gonna do it, because there's not enough time, way too late in the game for us to make any impact.
You're here.
Jeff here, Solomon Newport resident. I just, a question, have you done any forecasting with all the changes you're gonna make on which initiatives are gonna give you the best bang for the buck for moving Moorings? You have a lot of different initiatives and changes. I assume the intention of getting people to move along the list faster. Have you done any forecasting on which you think will provide the most return for what the changes are?
Yeah, he's saying percentage-wise, is it gonna be
Yeah.
the lack of transfers to residents, or is it gonna be the fact that?
Is it the
We
We
had discussions about that, and I can only give you, did we do forecasts like you do, your company does? No, we didn't do that. What we did was, we looked at all of the, ordinance that are being changed, and we said, this is a big one, the handout, let's say, is probably, in my estimate, in my opinion, not the opinion of the city solicitor or the city, but that is gonna be the biggest, process, or the biggest way to change the opening up the Moorings.
More so than I use it or lose it.
It was talked about, but.
Right.
There's no numbers on it.
Okay.
Right. There are no numbers on it, but yes, more so than the lose it or use it. Thank you.
Are there any other, just?
Wait.
Sorry.
Is it real?
It's related exactly to that, what he said. Does anybody know of any other cases where this has happened across, let's say, the United States, where we could take a look at it to try to draw some numbers out of it?
Okay, that's a good point. Let's go back, okay, we have it, got it down. All right, this person here.
Hi, I'm Attorney Morris Cusick. I think all the lawyers in the room know me. I want to address one thing. Unfortunately, I wanted to say I have sick children at home. I have to leave. To address everyone's interest in the 30-day thing, and I primarily for 3 years did statutory construction, what we call in the law. What you want to do to fix all these things is very easy. The last sentence you write in, it's the hot issue in statutory construction now, and even in business contracts. You write in, it is the intent that this statute be used to allow people to leave to go on vacation and come back and not lose their mooring. So you and it's really a common sense kind of thing. That's the new school of thought in what we call contract construction, statutory construction. Use plain language, add a sentence that says, therefore, when someone goes back to construe it, they say, well, you can't read it that way, the stupid way, because the last sentence is, it's the intent of the statute to allow people to do it. I just wanted to get that on the record, because I believe Christopher, you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
My name is Mary Ellen Atkins. I did speak before, but I have two things. One, I agree with Joe Hall. This isn't ready for prime time. And what Gary Lash asked the question, which I totally agree with him. If you look at most of the people in this room, half of us are older. Before July 2020, you're going to transfer your mooring to your child. All you young people in the room, my children are younger than you are. That means you won't get a mooring in your lifetime. And so you're not, and many of those children don't live in town. So therefore, you're not going to accomplish what you want to accomplish unless you do some studies and look at the people and the age of the people and ask them if they're planning to give up their
Jay Everside Spoker, real quick, two things. Can you guys make a note that I know you've said it a couple times and it's not true, the waiting list is in 12 years. The mooring field up in Brent Cove is 30 years right now. 1998 is the person on the top of the list, so let's just clarify that's 30 years, not 12. So, and the second thing is, I totally agree with the lady just said over there, and I believe if we could work out some sort of a way to maybe alleviate everyone here from the people who are looking for moorings and the people who have moorings, and there's that gray area, why can't we look at doing something where private mooring holders can rent their moorings for a season, 2 seasons, whatever, to another private individual on the list, who's on the list, resident, whatever, figure it out, but that way, thank you.
Okay.
That lady right there is a servicer, it's time.
I just want your definition of a domestic partner. Does that include a girlfriend, boyfriend? Yvonne Lash. Because you didn't define it anywhere.
Okay,
There's a lot of
definition of a domestic partner.
Because if it's girlfriend or boyfriend, that can change a lot over a period of time.
I know it's somebody, it's defined by the current rule. Crispin, can you clarify that?
Yes, there is, I believe we incorporated a definition, and we have one that the city follows for in human resources also, so.
And what is that?
I don't have it off the top of my head, ma'am.
But if it's like girlfriend or boyfriend.
No, it's not a girlfriend. No.
It's a partner.
A partner is somebody, a domestic partner is somebody that you are legally married to. In the state of Rhode Island,
That can have a broad, it can have a broad.
Understand.
I can get you.
It's available.
But if it was girlfriend or boyfriend, that could change over a period of time.
If you call my office tomorrow, I'll get it for you.
Yes, I asked the question before. I think moorings of, Ed Brady, mooring of convenience, I think is something, mooring of convenience. For example, if you go through the harbor, if you're in the harbor at any point in time, you see a lot of empty moorings. All season long, you go over to the cove, there's a lot of moorings over there. I think what we have is an issue of a lot of moorings of convenience. People have moorings for the convenience of going over and hooking up or whatever. You have other people in this room who haven't been on the list, are on the list and can't get a mooring. So I think that's another thing that looks at. How many mooring of conveniences are out there where the boats aren't really, moorings aren't being used? The other problem we have also is storm moorings. Anyone that's involved in any marina anywhere, they want to have a storm mooring to go out to because they have to move their boats off. And I think that's another problem that needs to be looked at, and I think this proposed changes to the mooring rules can definitely have an impact on that. So I think that's another question, mooring of convenience and storm moorings and how you can do it. Some of us, we've worked deals out where basically if the boat can be pulled out of the water, another individual says, hey, can I use your mooring during a storm? We agree between each other. So therefore, he gave up his mooring of convenience. So I think if maybe we can do a little bit more of that, again, the whole idea we're trying to do is free up moorings for the people who have been waiting a long time for them.
Thank you.
My name is Karen O'Brien Bernstein. My husband has the mooring, because they don't like mooring people, do mooring. It is a private mooring. I asked him to go get a commercial mooring, but he came here to get a private one and was told at any time we could turn it into commercial, which we never really wanted it that way. This was 25 years ago. But we do know a lot of people, not Neil Gray or commercial people, but there's individual commercial people that don't live here, and they're able to take this gentleman's money, and we have to, yes, we have to give it up at some time, but why have those other commercial people being affected by this?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Bob?
Yeah, general comment and a question. Paragraph 077 has to do with ground tackle, and you changed it from heavier tackle and more frequent inspections and required minimum strongly recommended to heavier anchors. It kind of applies, you don't want people to have heavier chains, just heavier anchors. That's correct? Is there?
Yeah, I can explain it if you'd like.
Go ahead, Tim.
What's been happening is people have been putting heavier chains on, big heavy chains, so, and tendency to go up in both sides or down in both sides depends on how you get.
They're not riding the chain, right?
What's happening is that big heavy chain gets stuck in the mud, or you bought a lighter boat. The wind comes up and you don't swing properly. So the bottom chain should be appropriate to the boat size, so that we can all swing together rather than somebody being stuck and then the guy that comes down and swings on top.
Okay, because I know a lot of people, myself included, my anchor and my chain is higher than the minimum required in case of a storm.
I understand.
You know, so that's why I was asking the question. And the other thing is that the same thing says bottom chain must be as described in the chart below. But then the next sentence says tackle its minimum requirements. So it seems like there's a, it's just an informational piece that the wording seems to contradict from one piece to the other. The other question I had, statement I had was something I found in the guidelines for harbor amendment plans. It really implies that non-residents of the city are residents of Rhode Island. And by the way it's worded, it says that residents, non-residents, commercial uses, based on recognition that the waters of the state must be available for use by all residents, including inland residents. So to me, it almost sounds like it's saying, well, they're not a resident of Newport, but could be a resident of Rhode Island. It's kind of a clarification or a statement. And I do know, because I have friends there, that if you get a mooring in the state of Connecticut, your boat must be registered in the state. Period. It's a state rule. And another thing, some of the communities down there have added the fact that you must also be a property owner within the state. So just some thoughts when you're talking about the idea of having this available to all the residents of our state and property owners of our state. That's something that Connecticut did do to try and make that happen.
Thank you very much. Okay, 3 more questions, all right? Okay. Let me get this guy in the back.
I commend you for doing what you're trying. My name's Andy Green, and I commend you for trying to move this list along. My questions are: is it possible to have areas where you can actually have more moorings? Introduce some more into the harbour. You may have looked into this, I'm sure, but there are some areas in Brenton Cove where there could be more. Is there any plan to be as tough as you can, even if these regulations don't go through, of having a summer where you are extra tough with your rules that are in place and people who are violating them? And I just advocate moving the list along, because it's very hard when younger boat owners are a breed that isn't growing, and there are a lot of older boat owners who have still got boats, but we'd like to see some of the younger members get options, resident of Newport.
Thank you very much for coming.
Gary Lash. Twice this evening, you've asked the group here about their particular interest in several of the proposed changes, with the idea, I understand, that might then go to the council to notify them that there could be some changes made. May I suggest, based on what we're hearing here tonight, with the situation where we're notified, most of us, like last Tuesday or Wednesday, we're here tonight, 2 days it's going to the council, that you also ask how many people here agree with Joe Hall, Neil Gray, and I'm sure many people here, how many people think this should be kicked down the road and studied further?
Here, here.
Two hands up, everyone.
You guys are pushing stuff down. Seriously.
Can you note that down?
No, I'm just saying, those without moorings should put their hands up.
I need clarification, I don't know if this really affects anyone, but in a relocation for a mooring, it says in the changes, the nuisance mooring permit application and placement on the list shall be required for relocation to another mooring area. But it also says that you may not put your name back on the list.
Right, good.
So there is no, the way it's written now, there is no possible way to move to another area.
All right, anybody who hasn't said anything yet?
Judy Knowles, I just want to make the point that we seem to all be in agreement that this is not ready for the council to approve. What actually can we do to make sure that this doesn't happen on Wednesday night?
When I saw the crowd when I came in, it was going to be my recommendation to the mayor that we continue the docket items. There are some items there, I think, some of the proposals, I believe there's 12 or 13 of them that aren't contentious or in dispute. But I don't want to pick them out. If you are out there wondering if it's going to be heard or not. I'm going to recommend to the mayor that we continue this. Of course, that will be subject to a vote of the council to continue it. I believe after the report that I'll give them, that they'll do it, but I'm just a solicitor, they're the ones who are gonna
Do you
vote.
propose that this crowd come Wednesday night?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's up to you, but I am going to recommend, I will tell you right now, I'm gonna recommend that docket item be continued. One of the reasons we did put it on for this council meeting is we wanted to give Tim enough time, because you're gonna sooner, the voting season will be upon us soon, that these would be in place. The only other point I wanna make, we did have a public workshop on October 17th, when that presentation was made.
No one knew.
So, I just
No one
wanted to-
No one here knew.
Please, we did.
Where was it announced? 'Cause no one
Notified
knew.
at the city council meeting, at the city council chamber.
Wasn't online.
Okay, we did.
Okay, again, it's a community, we're in this community together, maybe more promotion of these things or something, but
Yes.
anyway.
My name is Sam Hall. Listen, just take a step back. I think there's a lot of consensus here. There's a lot of, everybody's all passionate about this. We love the water. I'm a yacht designer. This is what we do. This is where we want to be. I think you've heard loud and clear. I think there's many people who've spoken to this. It makes common sense to put out and make workshops. Do what you said you did once. Make it public. Do 3 or 4 public workshops. Post it, put it in the paper so we all know, and let everybody come and just hash it out. It's not something that you can ram down in 2 days. Just make some workshops, that's the point.
Segue on this way, it's a good point, and we as a community and we as a city need this. Now, and again, one of the reasons this is being done the way it is because of the dialogue and the promotion of it, and workshops themselves do not solve problems. Having hearings and having the stuff available, it isn't working for Newport the way we hoped it is. So I think we're hoping that you and maybe this methodology is something that can help us all going forward.
But you can't do it. You can't do it from this meeting and have somebody vote on it. That's not going to work. That's going to create a massive Tea Party revolt.
Comment, that's all. I think we gotta.
We gotta go or we're not being here.
All right, wait, the entertainment for January.
We all just heard about this. It seems to me that everybody who has a mooring permit and everybody who's on the list to get a permit should be getting emails of this kind of stuff at least 2 weeks ahead.
Yeah, good fun.
Okay, we got a few more minutes, just 2 minutes.
My name's Michael Reardon, and I work in the harbor here. One of the things I'd like to commend you on is, it was a painful thing a few years back, but you didn't force a turnover in the anchorage, and meaning there was a limit how long you could keep a boat there. And what I've observed in working in the harbor daily is there's less derelict boats coming up on shore in heavy weather. And I think that's a real positive too, and people are able to keep coming into the harbor. It allows a fair turnover for that. I think what you're doing with the moorings is trying to facilitate the same. As to the commercial, it seems like there's an impression here that it's clogging up and not allowing people into the harbor because there's so many commercial, but I would say that with the regulations the way they are with the commercial mooring, somebody can come in for a month and leave and go up to Maine for the rest of the year, and somebody else can backfill and use that mooring, and it's utilizing, or it's best utilized, that one spot in the harbor. So that, to keep that going, I think maybe one thing you might consider is finding commercial moorings that aren't utilized. And meaning if it's vacant for a span of a year, you might have to address that.
Thank you. I'll willingly just sort of throw myself to the wolves here. In terms of this process, right, before every waterfront commission meeting, our agenda is published in City Hall, on the city website, and on the Secretary of State website. Every single one of them is a public meeting. And the revisions to the mooring ordinance has been on most of those agendas when it's been discussed.
Have you looked at that website? Because that's not correct. You don't even have all your members listed on your website, much less the prior notice.
I understand that there
it's
are
not
flaws.
accurate.
There are flaws, but I'm telling you, every time we have a public meeting, we are required to publish what the agenda is, and we do that. And I don't see this group of people at any of those meetings. So we are trying to be open and forthright with what revisions we're proposing. And the same thing was done for the October meeting, and there was nobody there. So maybe there's a better way to publish it, and we agree with you. But I'm telling you, it's not being done in a vacuum. It's not being done in a vacuum.
All right, I think it's time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.